June, July, and August is the challenging season. We know that there's going to be challenges that arise from opening new locations, dealing with the town and inspectors, hiring and identifying great team members that enjoy what we do, and then getting them trained so they can hit the ground running and be successful in August. Just have to remind myself to keep on track with the vision, and when things get hard, to keep pushing through, because that's when most people quit. Yeah, so as far as build out with the kids that win number 2, so we've mainly got everything cleared out from the previous tenant. Everything that's here is basically meant to stay here right now. And from here, it's getting it pretty, making it look nice and clean and fresh and great for our members. Obviously a lot of paint that still needs to happen, but the biggest thing we've run into is dealing with the town of Mount Pleasant. So if you're unfamiliar with our area, it's really challenging. They're just very strict when it comes to building codes, even as far as painting. You know, years ago when we came in this spot, it was me and Jeremy just with some rollers and a case of beer rolling these walls. But now things have changed, and they won't even allow us to paint our own building. We have to hire commercial contractors that are licensed to paint for us. So either things have changed or we just didn't know what we didn't know back then. So another big challenge we face dealing with the town is we use the Dolomer style thick mat that we use at all of our locations. They're used all across the world. And when we went to submit them, they wanted to know exactly what the fire rating was. And that was a challenge to find that information, but we already ordered the mats. We spent $8,000 on mats. We ordered them, had them ready to ship. Thank God we were able to get the company on the phone and pause the delivery on them. But right now we're waiting on the town for the mat situation. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on the approval for our mats, we're gonna have another flooring system we're gonna put down. So the kids are still gonna be able to do all the fun activities. They're gonna do the dodgeball, laser tag, Nerf wars. They're gonna be able to run around safely, have fun, and get some of that energy out. What we've been doing the last couple of weeks since we last saw you guys is we've been painting. So we did get approval from the town of Mount Pleasant to start painting, but everything else is at a standstill, and we're just waiting. It's a waiting game. It's frustrating because every day I check my email. I want to check the email because I want to get the update and know exactly where we stand. But on the other hand, I kind of don't want to get the email because what if it's bad news? Again, you know, as an entrepreneur, not everything's going to be smooth sailing. We just got to keep our eyes on the prize and do what we can do. We got to control what we can control. So for right now, for us, that is painting the facility, doing everything we can, but on the back end of it, that means we're selling memberships. So a large portion of my day and the team's day is following up with leads, running ads, making sure we're at schools, reaching out to PTAs, reaching out to principals, partnering any way we can with our community so that we can get more brand awareness for kids that win. Another thing we're doing is go ahead and hiring staff and training them right now. So we actually had 2 operational managers start today at our existing Kids That Win location. You know, something we did years ago was we did everything out of the gate. Fortunately, a decade later, we're now able to hire people ahead of time and get them trained up. So this week will be them familiarizing themselves with our systems and with our process, but then next week, they're gonna be ones doing all of the student reach outs, all of the community reach outs, meeting with teachers, meeting with principals and PTAs. So, you know, it's just a better system for us. We can grow and scale much faster because I'm not the bottleneck anymore. You know, typically when we've opened locations in the past, and this is for most entrepreneurs, is you do everything yourself and your time becomes the bottleneck for the business. Whereas now we're able to train people ahead of time and get them prepared so that we can hit the ground running as soon as we get the certificate of occupancy from the town. So there's seasons of entrepreneurship, you know, just like there's seasons of life, right? So there could be a few year period where you're either life's amazing or you're going through a challenge, right? And then in entrepreneurship, that can be every couple months, just like a normal season would be. So it's interesting because for the past couple years, every year we've opened 1 to 2 new locations, and we open those locations typically in the summer months, so June, July, and August. And the reason we do that is because we get a lot of momentum going into the back to school timeframe because, you know, young elementary school kids are people we want to help and work with. So for us, the last couple years, June, July, and August is the challenging season. We know that there's going to be challenges that arise from opening new locations, dealing with the town and inspectors, hiring and identifying great team members that enjoy what we do, and then getting them trained so they can hit the ground running and be successful in August. But then, you know, once things get set, life has a little more balance to it. You can spend a little bit more time with family. But entrepreneurship, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be hard, otherwise everyone would be doing it. So just have to remind myself to keep on track with the vision, and when things get hard, to keep pushing through, because that's when most people quit. And if we can keep pushing through, we're gonna make it to the other side.